started. So welcome to Intro to AI Integration. If you haven't already and you're an ACM member, go ahead and check in. If you want to view the slides at any point, I highly recommend it. There's some stuff, like there's some links in there that are useful. So I put a QR code up. You won't be able to edit, but you'll have to copy and paste. I'll just give you a couple minutes for that.
It says phone verification required for the slides. Is it the right thing? Browse too short that I own. Browse too short that I own.
Browse too short that
Like I have. Yeah.
Why? I love this one. The link up. Oh, don't like that first. The link up now. And I'm also going to try to find this. I'm going to make this direct. Is the link working? You don't check that. Sorry to make that typo now. Oh, true. You can do that too. Move on. So what we're building is we're going to build together. We're going to build this AI study assistant. Now, all the front-end stuff you see here is already done. What we're going to focus on is getting the output and the inputs, notes, and modes to work. And there are different modes. There's summary, flashcard, and quiz. And the AI will respond accordingly. Don't mind the custom AI instructions. Important is you never put an API key in front. So to go around this, we're going to have our own folders inside of it called //API/generate. And we're going to put the Gemini, the ENV inside of it.
Use this one instead. And the reason we're doing this is so you can't directly access the API key through the front end or through just poking around on the server, or on the, on the front end server. Now for repository setup, and this is a lot of the reason I put that QR code in the beginning. So if you don't have Node.js installed, or if you don't know if you have it, or you don't know the version you have, you can just go to a terminal. You can type node-v, and it'll tell you which Node version you have. Now, if you don't have Node 18 plus installed, then you'll have to go to this website. I can actually open it for y'all to show you how it works. And this is like just the Node website. Okay. I swear this looked different just like 5 seconds ago. Go to download, and then honestly, as long as the version is over 18, it doesn't matter which version. 24 is just the newest. I'm on a Mac using NVM. This might be different if you're on Windows. I think it's like chocolatey or something like that. And then make sure you're installing it with npm. And it gives you this code, which you would input into your terminal. So you'd input the curl first, and that downloads the actual NVM. And then this, sometimes this can mess up. I just recommend closing your terminal, reopening it. It saves a lot of problems if there is a problem that occurs. And afterwards, you can just do nvm install 24. I'm going to give you all some time for this because Node can take a little bit to install. Actually, by show of hands, who already has Node 18 plus installed? All right. You're ahead of the curve, don't worry. So I'm going to leave this up for a little bit while y'all get that ready. But I'd recommend definitely just closing your terminal instead of using this. It typically doesn't cause problems, but when it does, it's just annoying to deal with. While y'all are there, I assume y'all can find y'all's way to the Node website yourselves. So I am going to just continue talking for a little bit. What I'm going to do to help y'all set up the repository is, first off, Node is important. We're using React, so you need Node installed. You're going to clone my repo. It has everything except for the route, which is what we're going to be creating during this workshop. npm install, you'd run inside the directory of the terminal that you're in. I'll show y'all what I mean by that when y'all are done. And then you just run npm run dev, and then you should be able to access the repo, or like see the website. How about it? Yes. Yeah. Oh, wrong way. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? I'm sure. Oh yeah. It might auto redirect to Docker. That's fine. And that's with the using Docker. Can you look at it again? Just so I can see the other ones. I wonder if that's a Windows thing, actually. Is anyone else having problems like trying to install, use NVM on a Windows? Yeah. Oh yeah, Chocolatey. You can also use Chocolatey. It's unofficial, but it's one of those that's like unofficial, but like really well used, like homebrew and stuff like that. I'd recommend it. Is anyone still trying to get Node installed? Do y'all need any help with that? If no one says anything, I'm gonna move on. So is everyone good? Yeah? Bet. All right. Now, in your terminal, assuming you have node installed. I do. You can either do this through VS Code, or you can do it through your terminal. To do it through terminal, MK Direct, and you can call it something like ITT AI integration or something like that. And that's you're just making a folder for it to hang in. I'm going to show you all the rest through here. Terminal, new terminal. And opening this terminal would be equivalent to saying you have like the MK directory open. So MK directory file name, CD file name, that's how you actually get into it. If you forgot what you named your file, ls will show you all the files that you have. But now that we're here, I already forgot what I was doing. Now that we're going to do git clone in this long link. So pretty much you're going to run this command, and it'll clone my repo that I have currently. Is everyone able to clone my repo with no problem? If you don't have git installed, you might have a problem, but I assume most people would have git installed at this point. We gonna move on? All right. Once you cloned it, you're going to run npm install, and this is going to install all the dependencies I have. Now, it's mostly just going to be React stuff. I can run it here with no problem, just because it only updates after it installs. Once you've installed it once, it'll only update. Was everyone able to install the dependencies? Yeah? Okay. I must have made a mistake then. And then finally, you can run npm run dev. Now, currently, there's no AI inside of this. It's simply just this website, AI study assistant. You place your notes, it'll output something. Although right now, I don't think it'll output an error. If you actually, I can show y'all. Since we don't have a route, and I try to generate which calls to a route, it just says, I don't know what you're talking about, unexpected, there's no JSON, what is wrong with you? That's fine, that's how it's supposed to be for now. Is everyone able to get that up and running? Bet. All right. Now, the .env and getting your API key. So I'm going to show y'all this, mostly because y'all can't see the whole API key that I'm using when I do it. Oh, sorry, but on the slides, there's this link. It's to Google AI Studio. They give out, or you can get a free API key. Now, there's limits to it, how much you can use it a day and whatnot. I'll also go over that more later, because we'll run into a problem where it might run out of space or something like that. But if I go to Google AI Studio, okay. Typically, it would just take me straight here. So if you see that, just click the Get Started button, and it'll take you there. Flex, I wasn't logged in, but I'm logged in now. So to get your API key, you're going to go on here, the bottom left, Get API Key. And you'll see the one I currently have open. Y'all can't see the whole thing, thankfully. But if y'all create your own API key, you don't have to name it, but you can if you want. You can create the key and copy it here. You can also click this to copy it. I'm about to delete this one because I'm not actually going to be using it. I'll be using the one I already have set up. And then once you have that copied, you go back to your VS Code. You might not have it, so you have to create a .env.local. I created this .env.example to show you how it should look. Y'all can see this, so just create a .env .local, and then place your API key right here. So it would look like, well, it would look like this, yeah, but with a bunch of random letters and numbers. Was everyone able to get their API key? You have a question? No, I mean, I'm on my personal Gmail right now. This one's on here? Are you on a Google account? If you go to, oh yeah, make sure you go to, if you just type in Google AI wait, did the link I gave, was that wrong? Yes, I'm actually very dumb for that. That's my bad. So if you just search in Google AI Studio, you'll be able to find it. And then get API key, create API key, copy it, and paste it into your env file. Oh my God. Sorry, I get a lot of spam risks. So if y'all see like 10 people call me throughout the day or throughout the workshop, it's just how it is, honestly. Is everyone able to get their API key inside of their env? Yeah. Okay. And if I'm moving too fast or too slow, feel free to let me know. Although I just realized it's 3:20, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the actual file we'll be working on. So I broke this up into multiple checkpoints. In this one, we're gonna first check if the backend is connected. So under API, there's two folders, API and Generate. You're gonna right-click that or double-click it, depending on what OS you're using, and then just call it route.ts. And it does have to be the specific name, partially because I called it that and I called to it like that. Also because when you have a route, you should really call it route so people know what they're looking at. It is just standard. So to first create this, we're going to need to export async function, post, request. Oh, it fills it for me actually. And then what this is doing is it's going to be how I call to it is I call to this file, and it's going to take this async function and it's going to run it on a server. So this async function will run constantly. This is where the AI goes. This is where like you make your instructions and everything. This is where all the important stuff goes down. So right now we're just checking the back end. So I'm going to create a constant named body. We good. It actually auto refills it for me. Sorry. All this is doing is it's saying we're creating this body so we can check if it's a JSON. Well, first we're going to make it to a JSON and then check if it's a JSON, and that's how we know if our backend works. We do need two more variables called notes, and then one called modes. And then we're going to set these equal to body question mark, and I'll explain what this does after screen sharing stopped. I think it happened when it actually got unplugged from here. Don't mind that problem. And I'll explain what this does when I'm done writing it. It's going to actually fill this, except I want to get rid of this. I don't want this. So what this is doing is it's just defining two variables. Each are going to be inside a body. We're seeing if they're empty, that's fine. We don't want it to crash, but we're just going to keep going. So we say question mark empty string. So it pretty much just says if it's empty, that's all right. We'll keep going. And then we also need a return. You always need a return whenever you're making a file like this or a function like this, else it will literally just do nothing. And then all it's going to be is, well, if the JSON is a JSON, if it's readable, we're going to return this. You can call it whatever. I'm just going to call it AP route is working. API route is working /in, and then mode, and I'm going to call to it $ mode. Nope. /in notes link. Sorry, I have this all written pre-hand over here, which is why I keep looking to my right. I mean, I'm obviously not going to be able to remember how all of this, okay, I didn't place it, works. Oh, that's what's missing. Results, API key. Why is it throwing up an error? 1 second, guys, my bad. What did I mess up? Oh. No? Okay, let me copy paste it. I'm gonna close these so y'all can actually see the code. I'm gonna move this down. Sorry. Now if you Control S and you go to your app and you run it again. Oh, I'm sorry, do y'all need the code up for a little bit longer? Yes. Okay. Would you clone the repo? Yep. Okay, I guess I may not have committed it correctly. It should have already been in there, but yeah. It just goes underneath app. So new folder, API, new folder into that, generate, and then route.ts. If you need the code for it, it is also this part at least, I believe, is not on the slides. I lied. I'm going to go ahead and show what this does though. So if I generate now, it'll say, oh, and by the way, this is just some spare notes I had placed in before. Y'all can go place in y'all's own notes from your own classes. It really does not matter. It doesn't need to be structured in any way. So it should just be able to read it the same. So now we know the API route is working. Also gave us, mode, what mode we're in, and note length. That's just so, we can show more. Did y'all want to see the code up for a little bit longer? Everyone good? Yeah? All right. As for the next checkpoint, we'll be actually securing it. So this is actually checking if the API is safe, if it's in the correct directory, and if it's basically if there's just no way to get it from the front end, or if it's in the EMV file is more accurate to say. So to do this, I'm actually going to get rid of this return response that we just wrote. I'm keeping the constants because we will need those. And I'm going to really quickly say and I'll explain this after I'm done typing it, but it is pretty much just checking if there are, or if you have a notes and mode and if they are filled with something. Status 400 is just an error check. It says, hey, if there's nothing there, throw an error 400. That error 400 is usually used with missing information. Now, technically, you could throw any error you want. It won't stop you, but you know, you might as well get it correct. Oh. So that's what that does. No, not try yet. And I'm going to write another if statement. And I'm going to stop after I'm done with this line, because I do want to explain this line. It is very important. So if, don't mind everything else that's there, but if not process.env.Gemini API key, what this is doing is it's going to your env file, it's checking if you have something under general API key. So this is how you check if it exists and if it's filled. So now that we know that, I'm going to return response.json. We do end up doing it a lot. Actually, this is what it gave is fine. This is like, it does it codes, this is Copilot, so it's just sorry, it's just Copilot, so it autofills it. But yeah, result, API key not found. You can throw an error. I didn't in my code, mostly because this isn't something for like the front end to see. I like Copilot's being annoying about it. Okay. And then return, oh, yeah, I can see the whole thing, never mind. Response.json. .json. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is why. Oh wait, no, I did throw it. All right, I'll come back to that. Results. Key detected. Next step. Call Gemini. And gonna really get some close. I see. Okay, it's because I forgot to close this if statement. I'm gonna give you all some time to copy this down. If you want, I can commit it really quick. So then y'all can just do the git clone again, and then npm install, and you can npm run dev. I recommend you following along, but if it breaks at some point, then you're so fine to just pull my current repo. Is everyone good? Or getting there? If you want, you can also take a picture of it, and I'm just going to show really quickly what's happening and how it looks client side. Give you all a couple minutes. Okay. I'll show you all what this actually does. So click generate again. key detected. Next step, call Gemini. So it's reading the JSON file. There's a proper JSON file, and then it sees to see if the key is working. If the key is detected, if there's a key there, then it means it's working. Well, it means it's there, and you can call to it. I'm gonna really quickly, this is like kind of annoying me how I set this up a little bit. All right. It'll be the same, but I wanted to, this is just the results that I wrote in. Well, I say I, but this is obviously chat. It's the exact same thing. It's just formatted a little differently. Both work, so it's really, I think the only difference is just how these are set up and how it looks. But I am gonna move on to the next checkpoint. Checkpoint number 3 is nope, too far. We're actually gonna input the AI. So we're gonna get AI responses, and we're gonna show that on the client, or on the website. So to do that, there are multiple conditions that need to be met. So I'm gonna really quickly just delete this. By the way, the reason I'm deleting like these return responses after every checkpoint is because return responses are only really gonna be, are for the first 2 checkpoints, the ones that it's just gonna be checking if things work. So after this checkpoint, I won't change it much, or at least the very end one, the last one. But it's just there so we can actually check if it works. That's all that really does. I lied, I did put a status in. Under this one, y'all don't have to do this. It's just another status, 500. This is just saying, don't crash my stuff. I exist, even if I don't exist. Okay. And now we're gonna get to a ton of stuff that we're literally just making AI. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a constant, we're gonna call it AI. And then we're gonna call Google Gen AI. And I'll explain more what this does after. I just wanna get it written down. API key process.env.Gemini API key. And what this is doing, oh, I'm so dumb. I forgot to import it. My bad. We're going to be using a function called Google Gen AI. And what this line does is it opens this constant, and it's going to be, this is where AI lies and lives. We're going to open it from here with the API key. And for now, that's all we're going to do. We're going to get to that in just a second. This is different. Wait, is it? Google Gen AI. Yeah, you should just be able to use that. And then now we're going to give it the instructions. Oh, my bad. My bad, I need to scoot that away so I'm not actually doing that again. I need to give it to a set of instructions to where the AI can follow. So, oh wait, I lied. Equals mode equals summary. Summarize the following notes. Concise paragraph. I'm gonna use this one. So these instructions you can really fill with your own, and I do recommend playing around with it. Even now during the workshop, you can really put these as whatever. If you want to use what I have, feel free to. I'm not gonna be like, what? How dare you? This is just the actual. Oh, this is 3 equals. Sorry. I'm gonna explain more of what this does that I'm writing after I'm done actually coding it. Okay. Actually, I'm not typing all that. So what this is doing is it's first checking the mode. So the instructions are based on the mode if you're on summary, flashcards, or quiz mode. So summary will summarize these notes into 5 to 8 concise bullet points. Mode equals flashcard. It's going to create 6 flashcards formatted like how I specified. And then else, this since there's no like mode equals, it's basically just reading it as an else statement. So else, if it's none of these, it's going to create a 6-question multiple choice quiz, and it's going to have the answer key at the bottom. That's all I have for instructions. Where is this trying to make me type? Okay. And then with that, we can create an actual prompt. And the reason I'm doing it like this to where everything is kind of like separate, I'm not coding it all together, is because you'll see when we actually call the AI, it makes everything a lot easier when we have it like built separately, so then we can call those individual constants instead of having to define each constant while calling to the AI. And our prompt is going to be the instruction set that we gave it. So instructions. Yeah, that works. Although, I don't know what's happening with these. Oh, and I actually didn't explain it before. These things you see, they aren't quotes. This is a quote. They're underneath the tilde. The difference, to be honest, I don't know for sure, but for this specific project, we're going to be using the thing underneath the tilde instead of the quotes. Actually, I don't think there is a difference. It might just be like what it could, like the type of string you can take in. Now give me the prompt. The prompt is literally just a concatenation of the instructions in the notes. Those are the 2 things that the AI needs before we call it. So I put those into one constant, so I can just call it as a prompt. And now we're going to actually be making the response. And this is how the AI responds. All right. And you're going to give it the model. I highly recommend using Gemini, hold on, not this one. Gemini 2.5.flash, and the reason is for the API key in Google Studio. This one's free, and it has like, it's one of the most like, has the most storage for you. So it's just a basic one that you can use. In the contents, it's just gonna be prompt since I made everything prior. And then generation config. And this is a little confusing, so I'm gonna explain it more after I'm done writing it. Output tokens, mode, summary, 350. There we go. Sorry, sometimes I get distracted when things don't look nice. So what I did in this generation config, so up here, we're gonna have like the base information, you know, the model, what model we wanna use, and then the content. And generation config, it basically gives like basic settings for the AI. So I put, oh, that's supposed to be max output tokens. I can't spell, my bad guys. Where mode equals summary, I want that to at most spit out 350. Flashcards 500. Else, again, we only have one other mode, so saying else is equivalent to saying if mode equals quiz, 650. Temperature is really cool. I like playing around with it. Y'all are free to play around with it. So what temperature is the like how creative the AI is allowed to be and how strict you want it. So if you set it to 0, it will follow your instructions exactly as is. If you set it to 1, it'll, you know, might pull some stuff from your instructions. It might be like, hey, this way is low-key kind of better, so I'm gonna do it this way. The only problem with that is you can have some security issues. Let's say you're a big company and you put the temperature as 1. And the AI starts telling people to do things that are like not seen as better for the person, or not seen as like, should the AI really be doing this? Which has happened in the past, and it has caused some companies to not shut down, but to change how they do things. Once we're done with this, we have pretty much the basic, like what we want, or like what the AI is giving us. Now we actually just have to return it. So to do that, we're gonna return response.json, where results is response.text. If it is null, oh wait, no response. I lied for a second, hold on. No text returned, no text returned. We're gonna have a catch case. Sorry. But I didn't. Oh, okay, that's what I'm missing. We want all of this to be wrapped in a try, because if it fails, we don't want our entire website to crash. We it to say specified errors that we gave before. And here's another reason I can't spell, because response. There we go. Okay. There's more to write, so hold up. And I'll explain what this does after. Error plus error message, unknown error, -500. Okay, what I just wrote, pretty much, these are going to be the JSON files that it returns. So if there's an error and you can't access the Gemini route, it's going to say Gemini route error, followed by the error that it is. Else if it's a server error, I'm going to throw server error plus the error it is. And by the error it is, I mean like if it's an error 501, error 500, stuff like that. So I just want to catch those just so they don't crash the website when I go to implement it. Oh, I made another mistake. This is the AI.models.generate content. And this is the contents. Oh my god. Can I just not spell? That has been, I've always hated English, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, well, let's see what's wrong. What's up? Okay. Nope, not that. Okay, yeah, I think it was just throwing up an error because it would like to throw a fit. And so now the AI actually responds with what we want, how he wanted it, based off the notes. And I can show you how this also works for flashcards. It may take a second. Again, we're using a free API key, so can't complain too much. And then it's, yeah, there's the how that looks, the flashcards. And I was gonna go a little overboard and make these like an actual thing, but I didn't have time to. So right now it's all just do an output. Yeah, and this is the quiz with the answer key at the bottom. All right, now that we have AI, actually in it, what more can you do? What more is there? Something very important, and it's important to like every company out there. It's important to everyone trying to make something with AI. Is production hardening. And the reason I added this is actually because I ran into a couple errors while testing this myself that I wanted to like show y'all why this happens, how this happens, and what we can do with it, or how we prevent it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna write, oh my god, my bad. Their USB-C, or their HDMI is extremely loose. So it's not very fun. Okay, so one error I ran into is you can actually use too much of this API key. So if you call it too many times, you'll get a quota error. and it doesn't crash your website, but it doesn't know how to respond, so it just throws up the error in the output. But to prevent this, I wrote this function is quota 429, and 429 is the error code. In case y'all were wondering what that was that I just written. Someone's calling birds out there. All right, now what this function does is it takes in the error as a string, and it reads if the error has code 429, or if it has this message, which it should because I saw this message when I got the error. And it's going to catch it, so it doesn't crash the server, or it doesn't do anything dumb, and it's just going to say, well, actually, I'll call to it to say something later, but right now it just catches it. I'm going to copy paste that because the next one's pretty similar, or at least the setup for it is. Another problem I ran into was it being busy. So too many people were trying to use Gemini at once, or at least an API key, and I'm going to go and click that, and it wouldn't let me do anything because there's too many calls. So to catch that, to avoid any problems that may occur, I wrote this. You know, this isn't exactly what I have written, but I also have written a lot for that, like message includes or message includes. So I'll just keep it as that. It doesn't really matter for demonstration much, so we should be fine. Another thing I wanted, or another problem that I ran into was certain models wouldn't work. So it depends on like if you have access to that model, if you've used too much of that model, or if that model is being used a lot around. So what you can do is you can actually check for multiple models. I'm gonna do this after the instructions. And before response. Oh, never mind. Okay, I know why I was confused. Okay, so yeah, after instructions, we're going to create this, and it's going to be const model candidates, and then you can give it a bunch of different ones. Honestly, I only had, since I like went in to check what I had, I just used these two. Gemini 3 and 2.5 Flash. Y'all should have access to it as well, so I believe there won't be a problem there. Another thing I made was let last error, and the reason I'm making this is because if you run with multiple models and you try to call multiple models, you can get many different errors. And if you let that just pile up, it'll lead to a big mess where you don't know actually what's wrong, and it can just be annoying. So having a last error variable means that I can actually go in later and I can set like the last model I used to that last error, so it'll only give me one error instead of a ton. Okay, this is going to be wrapped Actually, I'm gonna copy paste this because it's a lot easier to see when I don't build around it, but I build it inside of what I'm about to do. So I'm just highlighted it, copied it, deleted it. And so I'm gonna go through the models and I'm gonna try to call each. But did that do that right? AI.models. Actually, I did do it like pretty well. It's just gonna autofill actually literally everything because I had already had it written. So in the try is where I'm basically gonna be pasting what I had before, although it'll look ugly. My compiler cleaned it up for me, or my editor cleaned it up for me. We were having that before, I think. Okay. But I'm not done with this. Yep. Oh, I thought you asked a question. Sorry, I got lost where I was in the code. Okay, now that we have that, we're gonna keep. Oh my God. Sorry, I keep having to go back and screen share. It's the HDMI cable is not looking very good right now. Okay, I'll continue. So I'm actually gonna call right here the let error that we had just made. And I'm gonna say, or last error, not let error. And it's basically just gonna be like, if there's an error and this will catch it, it's gonna set last error to that error. And so every time it runs through it, it'll set the most recent error as the last error. And then I'm going to, can I get rid of this? No, I can't. Sorry, it was annoying me. And then right here, we're gonna call our other functions as well that check. So if is quota error, and it's gonna be like a low-key kind of a lot of code, it's gonna return. And the reason I'm returning is because I wanna be able to see that error client side or user side. Rate limit slash quota. I'm not going to give you anything super big. All right, so it'll catch if it's a quota, and it's just going to return the rate. It's just going to return either you've hit your rate slash limit, and it gives a couple fixes. And the is busy is actually a lot easier because we don't have to say anything. We just say if is busy 503 error, then continue. Else, or in other words, it's going to try the next model. And that's it for that, because we don't really got to say if the model is busy. And then else. What's up with it? What is this going to? Oh yeah, this should just be, that was right, my bad. Oh, there was one other thing I added. I added the status. Sorry, I'm just making sure I actually have everything right. Okay. It does, right? I just didn't properly space some of my stuff, so some of the brackets are a little off. Continue. Okay. This console.error is staying the same, but we do want to add another console.error. Oh, actually I lied. We're going to replace this with last error because we only want to throw one error instead of them all. And then we're going to add another catch right here. Catch error any, right? No. Catch, no, yeah, sorry. That looks right. I may have messed something up. I am really going to quickly go and run it to see what happens. I really hope I didn't mess anything up. Oh, nope. Okay, we're good. It is just that the brackets are a little off at some places. But that's how you make a secure API call. That is all I had. I know I'm going to commit this really quickly. So if y'all want to pull it, it's just git pull, and then actually I think if you're already on the repo, then you can just do git pull, else git pull, and then the link to my repo. And then npm install. If you got lost at some point, I know I did kind of rush through it a little bit, but that is all I had planned. Did we have any questions? Y'all gonna ask me anything? Feel free. If you have questions about something I went over or just a question in general, feel free to ask. So we understand this 100%, guys? Not even close? Okay. Yeah, I did want to get y'all like set up and actually have y'all, run this on y'all's local machine. Because it is also nice to have it like here so you can see. I know I learn a lot just by looking at code. I'm not telling you I'll just stare at my code for a while, which is why I'm asking. If you have questions, feel free to ask about any function I wrote, anything I called, like post. If you don't understand that, the Google Gen AI call, or how we did the instructions. No? All right. Okay. I guess that's it for the workshop then. Y'all can feel free to ask me questions after. Thank y'all for coming, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Thank you.